The other night in Little Boy, and I came off stage, and he's like, good shit, man, good, that's new shit. And I go, I'm super excited about this Russell Brand joke, and and he goes, yeah. So then the next day he starts texting me, and he goes, I couldn't sleep last night. And I go, why? And he goes, I'm just so excited about your new Russell Brand joke.
That really is how he thinks, though.
He goes, I can't sleep. And I go, wait, you're joking, right? And he goes, yes, I'm joking, you fucking idiot. It was so funny, dude. We were laughing so hard. He's the best, man.
Well, he learned it from Norm, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But he really does love it. Like, he really does love when people have new shit. Like, he really was joking around, I'm sure, but he was also looks forward to it a lot. He loves, like, the development process. And, you know, he gives really good advice. Like, I've seen him give, like, really good advice to up-and-coming comics about, like, maybe this is what you need to concentrate on. This is where you have, like, a kind of a hole in your game, like how you're setting it up. Maybe you have too many words. Maybe you're this. Maybe you're that. Maybe you're looking down at the ground. You need to look into the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I learned, excuse me, you know, you're always learning, right? But I just rewatched the Gary Shandling doc, the HBO one. And he talks at the beginning of that. He talks about when Mitzi Shore said to him, honey, you're not a comic. You're not a comic. You're a writer. And then he was so determined to be a comic. And he was like, and you're seeing his notes from his journals from that time.
Yeah.
And he's like, use your face. Your expressions matter at these moments, and your energy and the way you look. And I was like, oh, my God, man.
Wow.
Like, it's just, and then you watch his stand-up and you go, I can see what he's talking about. You see him go like from this to... Like,
right, he worked at it.
And you're like, yeah, it's fucking fascinating.
You're not a comic, you're a writer. I can see her saying that. Bro, if she said it to me, I'd quit. I'd be like, fuck, this is over.
The who was the guy that used to run the comic strip in New York?
Lewis?
Not Lewis. The guy that passed away. He had the mustache. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
You mean the guy that got murdered?
No.
No, that's at the Stand.
Yes, that's Dave
the comic
Kibowitz.
strip.
Rest in peace.
Who passed away at the comic strip?
There was that guy that was kind of legendary in New York that ran the comic strip. He was the booker, and when you auditioned, you had to audition for him, and then he would take you into a room and tell you, Lucian.
Oh, Lucian. Yes, that's right.
I remember I auditioned for him, desperately trying to get in anywhere in New York.
Oh, Lucian was brutal.
He brought me in the room. He sat me down. He goes, what can I say? I mean, some of the jokes work, but I don't believe you. And, and then he goes, look at the way you dress. You clearly have no pride in your appearance. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he was brutal. I don't remember what he said to me, but it was also not favorable. He would, like, occasionally give me spots, but I think he thought I was too dirty.
Oh, boy.
But I was 21. I didn't have anything to say. I had nothing to say.
How long were you in New York? You were out of New York way before I came to New York, but how long were you there for?
I left New York when I was 25.
Okay.
Almost 26, I guess. No, I had to be 26. No, I was 26. And then I came to California initially for this Fox show that I did with Jim Brewer. Jim Brewer was the mascot for the other team. And it was a baseball team. It was called Hardball.
Was it a sitcom?
Yeah, terrible show. So I moved out here for that, and then that got canceled.
You know what's funny, dude? I was saying this to all the boys out in the outside area here. I got to tell Joe this because I keep forgetting to tell him. Because I always forget. Oh, he was on that show. News radio during COVID saved my fucking life, dude. I swear to you.
Did you binge it?
I was living in an apartment that only had windows in the bedroom, so I had no light in my apartment.
Oh, no.
It was a tenement building. The hallway, I was telling the guys outside, I was like,
You were trapped in a place with no light at all?
Yeah. The hallway in this building looked like the alley behind the Wuhan lab. I was like, I'm going to get COVID from the fucking railing. I was like, it was so gross. Everybody was so freaked out. Nobody knew what was going on, like in the beginning. And I was like, dude, I'm trapped. I'm alone. Like, this is the worst thing ever. And my buddy Pat Walsh, who I do my We'll See You in Hell podcast with, he said, listen, man, have you seen News Radio? And I said, no, I've never seen it. I missed it when it was on. And he goes, look, Amazon's got the whole series right now for $20. Just buy it and watch it. And I bought it and I watched it. And you, fucking Dave Foley, the best, Phil Hartman. I was just
Stephen Root, Andy Dick.
Oh my God.
Vicki Lewis.
It just.
Candy Alexander, Maura Tierney.
Yeah.
It was a great cast.
It just took me, because it was so fun. It was so silly. It was classic. It reminded me of a better time because it was a little bit older because it was from the 90s.
Innocent. Yeah, almost innocent.
Oh my God.
That style of comedy.
Yeah.
It's so silly. It's like it's a fun thing to do. And to be able to do it that way, like with those people, they're all so fucking good. You know, and I didn't know. I had fucking zero acting experience. I did a couple of episodes of that Hardball show. It was terrible, like I said. I wasn't good on it either. I'm not a good actor.
No, you're not. No. I wasn't saying no, you're not a good actor. I'm saying no, you're wrong. I want to compliment you. Sitcom multicam acting, multicam is very different from single cam. Multicam, in my opinion, is the hardest form of acting.
No, dude, you're doing it in front of a crowd. It's like stand-up. It's not that hard. You know when you've got a good one, when you got a good punchline, and you can look Andy Dick in the face and say, because it says it on the label, like whatever it is, and you know it's going to get a big laugh, it's just like doing stand-up. Like comics thrive in those multicam sitcoms. That's why they kept giving them to like Roseanne, Seinfeld, Brett Butler. They wanted Tim Allen, everybody that could do stand-up could do that kind of in front of an audience acting.
See, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit. I think I agree with you, the idea that if the joke's there, you can land it. But think about it like this with stand-up, right? Woody Allen once said, I used to think it was as easy as just writing a good joke, and if I said it, it was fine. And he goes, then I realized that wasn't the case. I had to write good jokes that were of my personality. And that's why I'm so enamored by guys that are good at multicam sitcom acting, because they're writing something for a character you're playing. And it's knowing how to land the joke, but also making it believable. I'm in awe of Kevin James.
Oh, he's the man.
I'm in awe of him. You watch King of Queens, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. He delivered that line that 9 out of 10 other people, it would be in no way organic or believable, that choice he just made. And he does it in a way where you believe that's actually who this person is, and it gets a laugh. Like,
yeah, that was one of the last of the great sitcoms.
Yeah.
Right? Because when did the sitcom officially die? The only one who has a sitcom right now that I know is Miss Pat. And hers is on the BET app.
Yeah.
But who else? Who else do you know that has a sitcom?
No, but my buddy Pat I just mentioned works on that show, actually. And I agree.
Well, Shane has a sitcom, but Shane's Tires is not really a sitcom. It's a single cam comedy show.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not a situation comedy, right? Is it?
Well, it is.
Is it a sitcom technically?
It is. Yes, but it's a single cam. Like the multicam is the traditional whatever. But I think it died. I was watching. I also watched this later during COVID. Rules of Engagement, which was David Spade's last sitcom. It was him and Patrick Warburton. I don't know if you remember that show. Patrick
Warburton was on News Radio a bit too.
He did
a couple episodes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 I forget how many he did.
But that show came out in I think it ended in 2017-ish.
So that was probably the last one?
2013.
Yeah. 2013. Wow. So you watch it and they're getting jokes in where you're like, you can tell 2 years later they wouldn't have allowed any of these jokes.
You know what a show that I used to shit on? Until I watched it. It was a really good show, and I feel bad that I used to shit on it. Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory is funny.
It's funny, man. It's a good show. It's that kind of a thing. Like if that's what you want like a fun sitcom. That's a fun sitcom, man. And I had always thought it was crap.
Yeah.
I'd always heard it was crap. And I had made this judgment on it based on other people's opinions of it.
And we were talking earlier about what people hate on something.
Yeah.
Big Bang Theory, one of the most hated on sitcoms.
Meanwhile, Went Forever. Was the #1 show in the world.
I worked with Johnny Galecki. He was the fucking man. The coolest dude ever.
Which one's he?
He's the kid that was on Roseanne. The guy with the glasses. He was kind of like the main dude outside of Sheldon. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, right. Yes.
The man. I got drunk with him and fell down the stairs of his house. And he thought it was-
luckily you didn't need insurance.
No.
That would have been another story. And then
No.
they fucked me over.
Yeah.
Bro, speaking about getting fucked over, want to hear a story that I read today? Jamie, find out if this is true, but I'm pretty sure it is. There was a guy who decided that he was going to leave Texas because of the woke direction that America is going in. And so he decides to go to Russia because there's some American set up like an expat community in Russia.
Okay.
And this guy goes in there, and then they conscript him for the army and send him to the front line. Father who moved from family from Russia to escape woke America is sent to the front line.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, that's a crazy story.
That's insane.
With his family, with his wife and his daughters, he just moves there, doesn't know anything about the culture, and all of a sudden, you're in the army.
That's it.
Yeah, you're
No
in
cho-
the army. We need you.
And by the way,
Bro.
fed up with woke America, I would think Texas is a place where...
Like Texas is too woke for you. You need to go spend a couple months in Silver Lake. You think Texas is too woke?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Go hang out in the East Village for a couple weeks.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I lived in Silver Lake. It is
Insufferable.
fascistly woke in
It's
Silver Lake.
insufferable. Everybody needs antidepressants. No one has any vitamin D. They're all rotting out from the inside. They're all overwhelmed with anxiety, trying to control everyone's speech and behavior, and like every fucking flag that you can possibly wave for what you support. What are we on this week?
Yeah.
What are we doing this week? Like everyone's fucking nuts.
I think a city, that was always one of my big gripes with life in LA, or more specifically Hollywood. I think a city where you have to drive to get to the bar, you got a problem, because nobody's able to just go out the front door, go down the street, and just have some fun.
Right.
Everything it's got to be planned. It's got to be this. It's got to be
Hard
that.
to park.
Yeah. So nobody cuts loose.
Also, you're always in your car. So you're always isolated from other people.
Yes.
Until you integrate. And then you're back to my isolation. And in New York, you have to integrate. Like, you get on the subway, you walk down the street, everybody's there with everybody.
Yep. Dude.
There's something to be said for that.
There is. When I lived in LA, I said the reason I don't like LA, I always said the ultimate goal of people in LA is isolation. The ultimate goal of people in New York is integration. In LA, the big dream is what? Let me get the
mansion.
Yeah, the house way up in these hills, and
big
there's
old gate with dogs and fucking dudes on sniper posts.
Yeah. Guys being like, I got an eye scanner on my
Dudes in
house. You know?
turrets with machine guns.
Yeah. It's and the only people, and then they have these parties in LA where they hire a staff to create the environment of a bar in their home. So now there's like catering waiters walking around and shit. And you're like, guys, I'm just trying to play beer pong and like get fucked up. Like, what is this, right?
It's so weird.
But New York, you could be top floor Trump Tower. Guess what? You walk out the front door, you're going to the same shit newsstand that I'm going to. You're getting your coffee from the same fucking place.
That's another thing New York still has. Newsstands.
Yes.
People still buy the newspaper.
Isn't that wild?
The actual newspaper.
Yeah.
I wonder what percentage of newspapers get sold in New York City.
That's a great question.
Because nobody's buying newspapers anymore.
No.
Like what percent? Is it possible to find out when New York Times give that information out? Like what percentage of the New York Times, when it's consumed in paper form, is purchased in New York City?
It's probably the most out of anywhere, right? Because there's so many old school New Yorkers that are like, this is how you read the news. That's part of their life.
Oh yeah,
getting the Times every morning. Going
Those people
home.
are a problem. Those people don't know they're getting fucked. They don't know the internet. They haven't made their way through Reddit yet.
The Billy Connolly.
They haven't seen the Fauci memes.
Billy Connolly had this joke after he got sober, where he was talking about living in New York, and he goes, every morning my routine is I walk to the newsstand, I buy a cup of coffee and the morning edition of the New York Times. My life is a ball of fire. And then the funniest part of the joke is he said there was the same homeless guy every day that he would give money to. And he said one day the homeless guy goes, you know you don't have to give me money every day. And he goes, I know I don't, you little fucking cunt.
Jesus. It's better with a Scottish accent, right?
It is, yeah, it is.
Yeah, there's something to be said for living jammed up with people. But I think ultimately the problem is it's just overstimulation. I don't think it's good for peace of mind. I think it's good for energy. It's one of the things that my friends that love it there, they all talk about, like my friend Jeff, who's been there forever. He's like, I love the energy of the city. I'm like, really? Oh, energy.
New York's one of those places, man, when I loved it. God, I loved it. And I still have a lot of love for the city. It wasn't for me to live in anymore. But I always said, like, New York is one of those cities, whenever you get there, it doesn't matter what year it is, when you get there, that begins your impression of the best version of New York. And eventually, might take 5 years, might take 2 decades, might take 30 years, whatever. Eventually, you're going to say, this isn't what it used to be anymore. But there's a crop of people coming in right at that time that are saying this is the best place ever.
Oh,
and 30 years from now, they're going to say they're tired of it or whatever. But
listen, buddy, 30 years from now, we're all going to be serving robots. Okay? So all this good old days stuff, we are the last people that are going to talk about the good old days.
Yeah.
We're the last ones.
Yeah. And I agree with you. We'll be serving robots.
Yeah.
Not robots are going to be,
I remember people used to talk about the good old days of Times Square. And I was always like, you're crazy. Like, you want Times Square to be filled with criminals and peep shows and fucking drug dealers, and it was super sketchy.
Right. Super
sketchy. And then I saw it the way it is now, where it's a giant Applebee's, and I was like, oh, they were right. It's all, it's like, it's one of those things, like, you see where it's going. You're like, you guys don't understand. This is going in a terrible direction. These are just the first steps of something going in a terrible direction.
Yeah.
Like, at first you think it's good because there's no more peep shows, there's no more, street hustlers and scary people trying to rob people. But now you have the corporatization of one of literally the wildest places in New York City was Times Square. It was a wild ass crazy place. Yeah.
What you want to me, the analogy is you want the perfect dive bar. That's what we all want. Feels comfortable,
right?
Little gritty, but I feel okay. Once in a while, you'll go, let's find a dive bar, and you walk in, and there's too many boxes in the corner, and nothing works, and you're like, something's not right here. There was one we used to go to in L.A. There was a motel upstairs, and the bar downstairs only served 2 things, Modelo and Corona, and we were like, there is some sort of pimping operation or something happening in here. It's too much.
There's a lot of places like that are losing money. You're like, oh, is it Chinese triads own this? Like, who owns this fucking business? Like, how is this business still open?
Yeah. But you want perfect dive bar vibes. When when it's New York, Times Square now is like, it's like going to a bar in Epcot Center. And you're like, oh, God, this has no pulse. I didn't want it this clean. Not this clean.
When I was a kid, I used to play pool in New York at Chelsea Billiards. It's a 24-hour pool hall that was known throughout the world as a place where, like, the best pool players in New York City would go and gamble. So I'd go there 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, any given night, and you would find some of the best players in the world matching up, playing pool for money.
Wow.
Oh, it was amazing. And it was just 24/7. It was open all the time. So there's like guys who were street hustlers, who were pool hustlers, who would sleep under the tables. There was a bunch of people there that were like really talented pool players, but they were basically homeless. And they would just run around. And my friend that I was telling you about that smoked crack, that's how I knew him. He was basically a homeless crackhead who was a genius pool player. Yeah.
Did you ever get to play against any of the like big guys?
Yeah, I got my ass kicked. I played at a bunch of tournaments. I wasn't nearly good enough back then to play against those guys. I was just learning pool, but I was fascinated by it. But it was just the place, the kind of thing that you'd have in New York City. There was all these different places we could go. We could go to like 10, 15 places that were pool halls in New York City that were 24 hours. And you would go there, and this one was a complete Chinese-owned place. You would go there, and like some of them you would go to, not Chelsea, but some of them you would go to. They were off the beaten path. You'd go there. Everyone spoke Chinese. They had Chinese on the wall. They did speak a little bit of English. You could pay them for table time. You'd go and play, and you watch these dudes gambling there too.
It's one of my that version of New York. I think is probably, I would think, extinct.
It's not. It's not worth enough money.
Right.
So the thing is, like, if you could put some Louis Vuitton store
Yeah.
in the place where that used to be. That's going to make a lot more money than
course.
this seedy 24-hour pool hall that charges $20 an hour for
course.
table time.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. How are
Yeah.
you getting rich?
Yeah.
How are you getting rich off $20 an hour table time?
The Louis Vuitton store also doesn't have crackheads sleeping under the purses.
But it was so fun, man. It was like to be a young man and to be around all those people was like a very interesting experience because although I knew it wasn't healthy for them and I knew it wasn't a smart way to live your life, the fact that they were like dedicated to never doing anything but what they were doing, and they were smart people, man.
Yeah, it's
fucking weird.
Commitment is admirable, but that turns into that gets into the zone where you're like, this is dark. This is
It
very
was totally dark.
Yeah, yeah.
But they just didn't fit.
Yeah.
They didn't fit. Okay, just like you barely fit in that Senate office, they didn't fit at all. They just couldn't do it. They have whether it's ADHD, stepmom beat them with a belt, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
They're not going to fit.
Yeah.
They're not going to fit in whatever corporate cookie cutter life.
Right.
But they had a place in pool halls where they could hang out with other misfits. And that was like a big part of the charm of the place.
Yeah.
It was a magnet for misfits.
Yeah. And now they're all DoorDash delivery guys, probably.
They're probably dead. I know a lot of them are dead. A lot of dudes that I used to play with are dead.
One of the things that I cherish most about my New York experience was when I first got there. It was how I became friends with Attell. Dave liked to go out back then, you know, and Insomniac was on the air, that show he hosted where he would, you know, go out into the cities.
And get obliterated.
Yeah. So Dave, I like to drink, and Dave was like, Joe, man, you're a nice kid. Come out with me. And he would take me to these he knew every fucking after hours place.
Of course.
We had a fucking blast. And Attell was classic. He was like Batman. You'd be doing shots with him for 3 hours, and you'd turn around, and he was gone.
Didn't want to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Fuck this, I'm just leaving.
Yeah, and you're literally like, I'm on Avenue D, I think. Where the fuck am I
And
right
they didn't
now?
have GPS back then either.
No GPS, no Uber.
No Uber.
No
right.
Uber. And broke comic couldn't afford cabs, so trying to figure out how to subway back to Queens, where I lived.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
At 3 a.m.
Oh, my God. 3, sometimes 5, 6.
Oh, my God.
Just, yeah.
That's the other thing. Bars in New York City open till 4 a.m.
Yeah, that's getting lesser and lesser, too, though,
Is
man.
it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. When we opened...
But it's legal still.